Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl with purple flowers in her hair and embroidered. How long have you been there? Rhythm, have you got it? Some people have it, and some people don't, unfortunately.
Fatality.
But unlike Neil Jones from Strictly Come Dancing, you guys have me here to help you.
You serious?
Poor Neil. Rhythm is the lifeblood of samba. So today we're going to go through some of the basics of how to experience it and how to use it.
Nice.
And if you stick around to the end of the video, you might get a secret tip. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the Dancer's Hideout, the place where you'll find all the tips and tricks to help you in your dancing. My name's Ian, I'm a professional teacher and former competitor with over 30 years of dancing experience and teaching. Now in today's video, we're going to be covering something that can be applied to any level of dancers, samba. So there's literally something for everybody in today's video. Samba is one of the 4 fast dances in the Latin American genre, and it's typically associated with Rio de Janeiro and the Carnival festivities that they hold there.
Yeah, boy, ow, me. Yeah, boy.
Which means it's danced with a lot of flair and a lot of pizzazz. Like watching that Thor movie that came out some time ago. So much flair, so much pizzazz. Samba is a rhythm dance, but what the heck does that mean? Let's take a look at what Victor Silvestor has to say. That's right, very same Victor who's known for his music and standing in front of bands.
Bruh.
And posing for CD covers. Well, in those days they were actually called LPs.
For all you young whippersnappers, LPs are a really big CD, which were played on old music boxes called LP players.
Sorry. Anyway, in Victor Silvestor's book, Modern Ballroom Dancing, he says, the basic movements of samba, that is, all the movements which are counted 1, 2, or 1 at 2, are danced with slight downward bouncing or dropping action, which is a characteristic of the samba. This action is obtained through the flexing and straightening of the knees as the weight is taken onto the foot, coordinated with the lowering of the feet to the floor. This action which Victor's referring to is the synonymous bounce action, which is commonly associated to samba, a topic which has been taught in so many diverse ways that you actually begin to wonder how some teachers and professionals manage to get their qualifications.
Bruh.
The bounce action, which Victor is referring to here, is a movement which is produced within the legs and within the feet. Let me show you. If I'm stood with my weight in a 50-50 position, with the legs flexed and the feet flat, then this will be the car park level of the hotel analogy we've used before, or -1 position. Check out this video on Waltz where I cover the rising and lowering movement and the hotel analogy. By extending the legs, we will move ourselves in a neutral or 0 position. We can call this a normal standing position or the reception level of our hotel analogy. By pressing into the balls of the feet, we will rise into the first floor of our hotel or a +1 position. By reversing this, we'll create a lowering action. So if I lower through the feet, then this will take us back through reception level to a flat foot position or 0 position, and by flexing the legs we will drop down to the car park level or -1 position. So we can go from the car park level to reception level to the first floor, from the first floor down through to reception level and then back down to car park level. So car park, reception, first floor, reception. Simplistically, this would then be -1, 0, +1, +1, 0, -1, and then the same again, -1, 0, +1, +1, 0. -1. Pause the video here to have a go at that exercise.
A few moments later.
This action is the bounce action that we use in samba. Unfortunately, a lot of teachers and dancers will dance and teach a direct bending action of the knees. But this is not correct, guys. You'd look like a farmer who's got a field full of Well,
Bruh.
I'd rather not say. Let me show you what I mean. Teachers will often teach a bounce action through the knees, as you can see here. But the problem with this, aside from looking terrible, is you end up sticking your bottom out.
Oh my.
Let's look at a common figure used by every single dancer. The promenade runs! No. The whisk. The whisk figure is a static movement which rhythmically changes the dancer's weight from left to right and vice versa, and uses a bounce-like action to emphasize that exchange of rhythm and movement. The whisk figure is a static movement which rhythmically changes the dancer's weight from left to right and vice versa, and uses a bounce-like action to emphasize that exchange of rhythm and movement. This here is the incorrect way to dance the whisk figure and bounce action. Regrettably, I have seen this action a lot. I also see a lot of beauty nail salons. Like, seriously, they're everywhere now. Can't go around the corner without seeing one. I mean, my nails are on fleek, so I don't need that much maintenance. However, these talons of mine do need clipping every now and again. And such vibrant colour options to choose from as well. Book me in, ladies! And this here is the correct bounce action used in the whisk.
Wait a minute!
But what's happening here? Why are they different? Why am I not allowed to reply to those emails that I get from companies that say, do not reply to this email? I just want to be friends, guys. That's all. The reason why is because one bounce action is done through the legs and one is done through the feet.
Julian!
Let's break this down a little bit so we can understand it more. To start with, let's stand on one foot, my right foot here, in the car park level of our hotel analogy, or -1 position. As you rise through the legs and arrive at 0 position, or reception level, the body weight begins to shift to the side. As you push through the feet, you will move to a 50-50 position on the first floor of our hotel analogy, or +1 position. As you continue to move to the side, the weight is received to the foot first and then the leg. As you dance step 2 of the whisk, you will once again rise through the leg and then through the foot, going from the car park level to the reception level, or from -1 to 0 position, and ending with a ball of foot crossed behind in a whisk position on the first floor of our hotel analogy, or +1 position. You would then replace the weight onto the front foot using a ball flat footwork, going through all of the levels of our hotel analogy from first floor to car park level, or from +1 to -1. Have a little go at that movement. Don't worry, I'll wait. This action of moving from one foot to the other in the whisk figure is what we would call action, which is felt through the hinge joint of the knee as you lower, and the application of footwork, whether that's a baller foot or ball flat footwork. This is how you can dance the bounce action in samba correctly. And this is a list of commonly misspelled words. There's no direct correlation, I just want to help educate everyone a little bit. Easy peasy! The priority here, in order to get it right, is the use and the feel of the feet. I can't stress that point enough. In samba, you should feel that your legs are free and able to be used.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But you should be focusing on the way that you use your feet. That's the real secret to dancing a correct samba. Not like those other secrets in the world that we're not allowed to know about. Hazel Fletcher talks of samba in Wally Olney's book Dance Addiction by saying, socially, a slow samba is enjoyable to dance. In its original form, it was known as bayon. Competitively, the samba is considered one of the 4 up-tempo dances in the Latin American section. She continues by saying, Ross Mitchell, who heads 2 popular Latin American and ballroom orchestras, has told me that it has become increasingly difficult to find arrangements that are in the required tempo of 50 bars per minute that still portray the lively characteristic of the dance. So in slowing the tempo, we are moving farther away from the origins. Samba uses so many different rhythms and timings within it, i.e. you can dance a lot of different figures using a lot of different timings, but the most commonly one used is when we count 1 at 2 3, A4. This is because most figures in the samba syllabus have this type of timing. If you look at the infographic on the screen here, you'll see the figure specifics for the whisk figure, which you just saw me go through with you a moment ago. The standard timing has us dancing step 1 to the left on count 1. Step 2 uses the crossing behind action on the ball of the foot with an A count. And step 3 is the replacing of the weight onto the left foot for count 2. We can then repeat this action to the right using the right foot to the side on count 3, whisking the left foot behind on the ball of the foot, the corresponding A count, and then finish with a replacement of weight on the right foot for count 4. Now, although these details are correct, the question that needs answering is this. When is Ian going to get a call from Strictly Come Dancing? He's not, guys. I'm pretty sure he's not, especially with these kinds of jokes.
Fatality.
No. The question is this: how can we
Rhythmically.
change our weight? If samba's a rhythm dance, we've got to use the rhythm to help change the weight. Samba uses a tilt and release action of the hips to instigate its movements through the pelvis, as you can see being shown on the screen right here. This means that you dance a type of tick action, as I would call it. Jam donut, guys, call it whatever we want, which would use an count just before the first number of the figure that we're about to dance. So essentially the timing would be and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Let me show you. As I dance each whisking movement, you can see the addition of a tick action is in use to commence each figure. And as I mentioned before, this tick action is an effect of the tilt and release hip action that I just mentioned before. You can learn more about hip actions by checking out this video that we made, where we go through each of the different types of hip actions that we use. Okay, here's a bonus tip for you guys that have managed to stay here with me to the end. There has to be some other types of ways which we can portray rhythm other than the timing and musical factors. Samba, for me personally, uses 5 distinct rhythms, which we can portray in movements within the body and the figures that we dance. And these are an impulse rhythm, an impact rhythm, a constant rhythm, a vibration rhythm, and a rebound rhythm. For simplicity, I'll just highlight to you the aspect of impulse and impact rhythms. An impulse rhythm is when the energy is big at the beginning of the movement and dissipates near to the end. And an impact rhythm is where the energy builds up to a sudden stop. Although technically speaking, the tick action that we've been covering today is also an impulse rhythm, as it's used to commence the figure that we're using. So this is an impulse rhythm because the energy started from the beginning, and this is an impact rhythm because the energy stopped at the end. There is certainly a lot more that can be said for samba here, but I do hope that today's video has given you some clearer ideas on how samba rhythm works and how you can use it in your own dancing. If you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to give us a like. We'll really appreciate it, of course. If you want to see more from the Dancers Hideout, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ding the bell icon so you can stay notified for whenever we put out some new content or videos. You can also drop down in the comments section anything that you've found interesting from today's video, or maybe there's something you want to see in a future video. Let us know. You can also be more actively involved with the production of what we're doing here at the Dancers Hideout by contributing to one of our funding pages. The links of them, I'll put them in the description section below. In the meantime, my name's Ian, this is the Dancers Hideout, and it's been a pleasure.